He has done it, folks. 48 hours of Ash Williams being overweight, and now we see he has lost his gut. What are we going to call him if not Fat Ashley? Lord only knows. What project have I decided on yet? Oh, I haven't decided yet. But I have an idea. It's a terrible idea, and that's why it's my idea. I come up with the worst. So I'm going to back up my save, and I'm actually going to restart the game because the game gets a little sluggish if you don't periodically restart it. But here you can have some primetime Yoda. So Pick My Own Project is the winner, which I'm a little surprised that you all would allow me to pick it. The submit goal or project ideas for Zomboid is now open. I'm going to pick a project idea that doesn't take too long. I'm only going to spend 1 day on it, rather than the 2 days that I previously spent. Consider an Easter egg. Yeah, happy Easter to all you that celebrate Easter. Yoda's going bye-bye. No! You like that? He just floated away. Not my son, no! Why won't it let me add cabbage? Oh, because the list is so long. That's how you know you've succeeded as a farmer. You can't even sort through the amount of ingredients you have because it's just one giant list. I don't even know what Yeet Yoda would be or would mean. Bulk cooking would be awesome. So, let's decide on my goal, right? Current project. There it is. A day off. You've only ever seen Mr. Ash having to work. You haven't really seen him hang out and relax. Do some cooking, do some cleaning, you know, just relax a day. Every day has been just a grind and a slog and a chore, and I'm gonna take a day off to do some food prep and do some organization in the base. Pants off for the day off. Yeah, relaxing. This doesn't need to be action-packed. You know, you gotta sit back and enjoy the coffee, right? Ooh. Good coffee. So we do have the point redemptions for new projects up that I think Zero Day has and Fangface have submitted some already. All right, so let's create some soups. I'm going to create some potato soups. Add some tomatoes to them. I'm just going to add, you know, whatever I have to them. Some cabbage. carrots. I should really make one at a time, because this soup here, yeah, I'm prepping one and not the other. So this has potato, tomato, 2 cabbage, and carrots. So let's add another cabbage. And then carrots to this one. Yeah, they have different nutrient values. Well, that's fine. Pepper to 1. Pepper to 1. Salt. Salt. And I'm gonna freeze these as food prepped soups to go. And I'm gonna prep a bunch, all of my soup pots like this, because I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not positive about this, but I believe that prepping food like this resets, much like in RimWorld actually, resets the food spoil timers. So if you have food that's about to go from fresh to not fresh, or not fresh to rotted, and you process it into food, you reset the timer, and you essentially make it last longer. So granted, a bunch of my produce here isn't about to spoil, but like this is resetting the timer again, which is a good thing, I think. Where are my radishes? Not my radishes. Yeah, I don't know where radishes are. But these drinks are going to be put away. The honey's going to be put away. Oh, you know what? I could cook the eggs too. I haven't had protein in this game in a long time. Sorry, beer bottle, you don't really require refrigeration either. Wait, what did I put in this box? Wait, what the heck? No. That's incorrect. Oops. I made an oopsie. Hi, Tusky. Oh, wagging that tail, aren't you? Wagging that tail like you never did see. Alright, radishes. So my refrigerator here, the freezer still has a ton of stuff. How'd that happen? I really thought I had cleaned that up. Oh, am I looking? I'm looking at the wrong freezer. Never mind. Okay, we're just going to. What can I add here? That's good enough. And salt and pepper. Yep. Floofer needs a pet. Oh, where'd you go? Come here. Come on, Floof. I'll pet your butt. I'll pet your butt. So there's my 3 soups that are freezing now, that are food prepped. My dude here is bored because he just does not like food prep, apparently. I'm putting all the orange soda in pop away, the honey. I have 200 cigarettes on me. Oh, beer. We have a pretty good amount of food stored. Like, I'll be honest, I'm actually proud of like the amount of food that we have stored up for the inevitable winter. Okay, leather gloves away. I don't need 5 water bottles. Okay, so one more channel point redemption of things to do, and I think we'll have a good list. So, I'd say final call, but it's not exactly true. And it wouldn't be a terrible idea for me to organize my kitchen too, so I have like canned goods in one section, so on and so forth. Some additional organization. Just the advantage of that would be so that I could take stock in inventory very, very, very quickly. And be able to see at a very fast glance, oh, I have X amount of, you know, chili and Y amount of so on and so forth. All right, little radio. You have 2% battery. Let's turn you off. Radishes are still well watered. Nothing is ready to harvest. Some of these crops are thirsty, so let me... Another thing I'm going to do is all these paint buckets that I've had everywhere collecting water. I'm going to put them on the roof so I don't have to look at them anymore. All of them. I'm going to have a pretty base by the end of the day. I still want backup water buckets. Would I stream Factorio? I'd consider it. But I know it's one of those games that requires a lot of learning first before you become good at it, and I haven't played it really myself, so there'd be a lot of I'd need a lot of free time to be able to bother streaming it, which I currently do not have. So in the future, sure. Anytime soon, probably not. My house smells like, well, it smells like dog every day, all the time. When the wife cooks, like, meat, it might smell not like dog for a very brief moment, but it mostly just smells of dog. All the cooking pots with tainted water, I'm going to bring into the kitchen as cooking implements. Yeah, I'm nose blind to the smell of dog. I know that my house smells like dog. I have no doubt, given that I have 3 dogs. But I can't really smell it myself. But if people were to come over to my house, they'd be like, ooh, dogs. Now, with that said, we do keep them clean. Like, Yoda had a bath literally yesterday. And our other dogs normally stay pretty clean. You know, we keep them out of the mud, etc. Alright, I'm going to be boiling these pots of tainted water. You moved into a house that previously had 3 dogs. Yeah, the dog hair gets everywhere and is really close to impossible to get out. If you have a really good carpet steam cleaner, you might be able to. I could replace the batteries. I have so many batteries, so I'm not worried about when the batteries run dry or dead or whatever. Yeah, my house right now, I have, like, area rugs, but I don't have any carpet. There's nothing carpeted. Yeah, my vacuum dies to dog hair as well. So I hope you appreciate my little project of tidying up. I think my home will be a lot nicer looking. Adios, Saruku. I think this home is just gonna be a lot sweeter, more homely looking. Not homely, homey looking. Those 2 words are easy to confuse. Glitch, you've been late a lot recently, and I don't judge you for it. Welcome, Glitch. Hey, Glitch, if you want to submit a project idea for me, anything you want to get seen, done, or whatever. You confused that with your American girlfriend and she looked concerned? Yeah, I mean, homey and homely are very, very similar, and it would be really easy for you to confuse the 2. This is the best base ever? Thanks. I rather like it. Bye, Tusk. Thanks, Glitch. Welcome, Glitch. Yeah, I feel like I've done well, given some of the scarcities I've had. Are you guys happy about all these buckets getting put away? What is Yoda looking at? Whatever he's looking at, you guys could benefit, because he's intensely staring at something over there. I don't know what it is. He's staring at the cursor. Hey, Yoda. Hey, Yoda. Oh, Yoko boy. He pays me no mind. Yeah, even with the constraints, the sledgehammer would really only help me a little bit. That's totally true. Because I have 2 box trucks and a utility van blocking the stairs. So it's not like zombies, unless I've barricaded it wrong. It's hard to test because I'd have to like lure a zombie all the way over. But I believe that my base is like sort of zombie, I wouldn't say proof, but I think it is proof. Where did I find these buckets? Most of these buckets are actually just paint buckets. And I found them because I was searching for a sledgehammer and found paint buckets instead. This warehouse is next to, right over here is a self-storage facility that had like hundreds of paint buckets in it. Maybe not hundreds, but dozens of paint buckets. So I've been collecting paint buckets. One of the reasons I was collecting paint buckets, in this series, water was cut on day 2. Like, the earliest I've ever seen it cut ever. It was kind of ridiculous. And now we have all the redemptions. So I'm gonna have you all vote on this. Let me type it up real quick for you all. See, I lost water really, really early, and I decided, because I didn't have the carpenter skill to make nice rain barrels, I just put out tons and tons of paint buckets. All right, so I'm typing up everything. And we have 7 options. They all fit perfect. And you can vote on what I work on next. I like the list. The list is great. Power lasted a very long time, yeah. I just lost, I lost water very, very, very early. I'd rather lose water early than power. But power lasted almost 3 full weeks, I think. And water lasted a day. Two of these can be combined, yeah. The foraging and trapping are kind of similar-ish. And generally speaking, when one goal wins, if it's easy for me to multitask, I will multitask. So if it was like, you know, if let's say, tailoring for cold weather gear, I don't know, you know, never mind. But sometimes it's easy to multitask. Can you choose more than one? No, it's really only can pick one. Vote on one. Vote on your favorite. Wish it was easy for me to allow multi-voting, but at that point, it's first past the poll here. Is there a reason why rainwater is tainted in this game? Well, rainwater in real life, you probably shouldn't just, like, drink without filtering. I guess it depends on where you live, but I wouldn't, because that's where, you know, that's where like flies and mosquitoes and stuff like, you know, you could get giardia or parasites, or I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't risk it. You could use iodine tablets, yeah, or something. A life straw. This game predates life straws, though. Life straws aren't gonna help you out. I don't think life straws. Ooh. I don't think life straws were a thing in 1993. I could be wrong, but something tells me, like, this game sort of predates residential reverse osmosis and life straws and a lot of other ways that you clean up water. Well, reverse osmosis doesn't clean water for bacterium anyway. Activated charcoal, though. This might have been around the time where you'd see a lot of activated charcoal type water cleaning. The virus was airborne, so it makes sense the things were tainted. Yeah, true. The virus was airborne. Okay. Things are tidied up quite a bit, I'd like to think. I think what I'm going to try to do is line these up nicely. Don't smash the window. Disconnect the generator. Oh yeah, check my stove, because that water's been boiling a while now. Well, I don't need to check the stove anymore, because I just killed the power. But yeah, that is very boiled water. Disconnect. Take. Now, generators have to be outdoors or you will asphyxiate. But I'm just putting them against the wall. Yeah, just like real life. It's always very, very sad. Where I used to live, where I live now, there doesn't tend to be people that have generators. Well, I used to live in New England, where generators were pretty common because snow and snowstorms can knock your power out for long periods of time in bad winter storms. And every now and then you'd read about people dying from setting up the generators improperly, and it's very, very sad. Okay, all in a row. Yeah, carbon monoxide poisoning sucks. And because you can't smell it, you know, like natural gas doesn't have a natural smell. We add stuff to make it smell. So it's very easy for you to get significantly poisoned if you're generating the gas yourself and you're not detecting for it. So I can't do much about the random trash that's out here because it's just design. But anything that I can tidy up out here, I will tidy up. I'm just going to go ahead and delete the clothing here. Boop. Infinite deleter. Let's see. I want to add boxes for car parts. I think that's a valid goal. And I'm gonna spend the rest of the day sorting the garage out. So we're gonna have this will all be my heavy duty stuff. Yep, so everything in those boxes are heavy duty parts. So here's some heavy duty tires. Oh, you know what? Some of these tires suck though. I don't know if I'm gonna want bad. Well, no, those tires. Yeah, these tires are banged up. I'm going to throw them out. I'm just going to decide that a 27 out of 100 tire is just not worth me keeping. Oh, but they're so heavy I can't even put them in the trash. We're going to need a bigger trash can. Yeah, maybe I'll keep them in the trash can for Demo Derby. If I need to swap like one tire out for a Demolition Derby car or something like that. But it'll be really nice to have all these spare parts, knowing that I can do some repair and maintenance on vehicles that get battered. Because I mean, I'm a bad driver in the game. So it'd be nice to know that I won't ruin my precious Black Maria. Nope, nope, don't put it there. Put it here. Okay, so this is for standard parts. So anything standard I will throw in here. And then sport will be on the left. So it'll go small, medium, large, essentially. And I'm not going to organize it by type or anything like that. I don't think that's worth doing so much. Just keep them so that I can quickly check all sport stuff, all standard stuff, all heavy stuff. You like the two-way tie? We could always have a tiebreaker. Or I could just decide that I'll do both. Oops. Yeah, trapping does take a few days. It's one of these. So what's interesting about the trapping suggestion here is it's one of these things that I set up the traps and then I really do have to come back a few days later to check on them because traps aren't instant. They don't work quickly. So it's a task that will have to be proposed in the future for me to really ever yield anything out of them. Did I just fail and break the box down? Yes, I did. Oof. Maybe I broke it down. No, I picked that one up. Here's some good parts. I've really been collecting some pretty solid parts here. I'll be able to Frankenstein a decent vehicle. Well, it ain't perfect. But it's pretty good. It's a pretty good layout. I do need other boxes, so the remainder of this day, I will get those other boxes set up. Oh, radishes look ready. Yep, they are ready. Ravishing radishes. a reasonable amount of ravishing radishes, Rhadamant, relishes. Oh, worms should get put away. You know what I'm gonna do? Where's my book? Before I harvest these, I'm gonna sit on the ground and read the rest of this book, so I get more XP yield for completing my harvest. Plus, only 2 of the 5 radishes are even ready. Oh, one's young. Must have been diseased or something. I don't know. Okay, so that is red. I am going to make... Let's make another soup. Hey, Tusk, what's up, girl? Oh, you know what? We'll leave those soup pots in there. We have all that fresh water pot on here. Am I literally just going to make a radish soup? Because I don't have anything else that's... Oh, boy. Nothing else thawed. Problem. I have to move some things from freezer to fridge. Because we only had radishes to put in our soup. Which I don't think sounds delicious. Alright, well, if that's the case, I'm just gonna drink what I have here, because why not? It's only like 1 radish. I am a monster. I don't fill my bowl. Oh well, it's probably too late. Cold radish water. Yeah, it's pretty much what that was. Oh, I added water from the wrong thing. Add water from bowl of water. There we are. I don't want a bowl of water. Well, I fully read the advanced farming book. I'll have to put that away downstairs. Well, cyanide smells like burnt almonds. To the YouTube viewer, that made no sense, but chat here is talking about certain chemicals and how they smell. And they were like, "Hey, what smells like burnt almonds?" Cyanide does. Smells like almonds, sort of burnt almonds. I used to work in a hazmat facility that did hydrocarbon reprocessing. And I've told this story before, but at one point the alarm system was on the fritz, and we had like the alarm company come out to take a look at what was wrong with the alarm system, and the alarm techs were so nauseated by the smell of the hydrocarbons that they could not step foot in the facility. They would just... it was like a pie eating contest, I'll put it that way. So they were like, I'm sorry, I can talk you through it on the radio, but I can't even enter the facility because, yeah, he was too nauseated. Oh, I felt bad for him. It was funny though. That is not good. Yeah, no, to be fair, strong smell of hydrocarbons is really, really bad. It was really bad. Look at all the worms I have. Oh, it's 1 in the morning. I am not doing a really good job of keeping on track of time. So let me head to sleep after backing up, and we'll take a look at the poll results. So trapping, foraging, and cold weather gear is going to be what I work on the next few days. Let me just back up the save. That doesn't all fit. So I'm going to work on trapping and foraging first, because it fits it neatly into the line right there. And oh crap, I'm doing the doing my backup wrong. Hold on. I forgot the soup. I didn't forget the soup. I won't go to sleep. Not just yet. Such a cute puppy. What would be my IRL survival chance in a zombie apocalypse? Honestly, it would be pretty high. I know everybody's going to be like, it'd be high, but I can give you some reasons. I live in a remote area. I live somewhere that has clean water, even because I have well water. So I don't need municipal plumbing. I have my own septic tank, septic field, well water. If I lost power, I live I know personally how to hook up generators. I have an engineering degree. I own a rifle that is ridiculously quiet and would be very easy to suppress. It's a 22 long rifle, and I have thousands upon thousands of rounds in real life of 22 long rifle rounds, which is very quiet. I'm pretty good at archery. I used to farm. I know how to cook. I have a lot of the requisite skills. I can also lift a pretty decent amount of weight. I'm kind of a big dude. Not that helps, because it also requires a calorie intake. The downfall, though, I will say, is I have dogs. And dogs would get you killed. And I don't think I would part with my dogs, even in a zombie apocalypse. I do have a habit of breaking my ankles, sure. Yeah, Mr. Prepper secretly is me. No, I'm not. I'm definitely not a doomsday prepper. It's just, you know, in the house I live in, I know how to wire up my own solar. So, like, if there was a true zombie apocalypse, I know where there are solar panels. The local university to me has fields of them, and I have enough electrical know-how. I also, and this is something that all of you can do if you want. Not for zombie apocalypse, but just for general information, you can download a significant amount of Wikipedia of their sort of general articles and have it be like a zipped up, backed up, you know, searchable file or whatever. So that is a something that you could do if you want. What would my loot strategy? I actually don't think I would do a lot of looting itself. I feel like let's talk about a true zombie apocalypse. If there was a lot of violence and all that kind of stuff, the more that you expose yourself to other people, the more at risk you would be. So I would, rather than making a run for, like big box stores and things like that, my strategy would mostly be let the dust settle. Get what I think I'm going to need immediately, and then let the dust settle. Would be, honestly, I think the strategy that I would take. Because I feel like the chance of you like in any sort of, like in a war zone situation or any sort of apocalypse situation, the chance of you becoming injured, harmed, or compromised in some way, or killed or whatever, is your interaction with other people being violent, like like a Black Friday type scenario. So I would just avoid people initially and entirely. Yeah, I live on I live in a fairly remote environment where I could easily farm and it would not be evident to anyone. And I have my own source of water. So I've got dogs for fertilizer. Hey, Phildozer. So, you know, I think my chance would be better than average, but maybe not by that much, you know. My chance when I lived in Maine would be a lot higher because of a few different factors, but mostly because you know, I lived on farmland, knew where a lot of local communes were and other farming co-ops and stuff like that. Because if you think about it, sort of hippie communes are perfect, right? All right, this will sound a little dark, but if it was a true zombie apocalypse, where would you want to go? You would want to go where there is a society that can exist off the grid already, because trying to get your own situation so that you can be off the grid is a lot of work. A lot of work. So the best place, the best thing that you could probably do in a zombie apocalypse is farming gone up, is just to take over like a hippie commune or something like that by force. I'm not proposing this to be done in real life, but let's say there truly is a zombie apocalypse. Go out to your nearest commune or something like that, or like maybe not Amish, but something akin to that, where they are already well set up to have their own water, have their own power, ideally power over water. You know, that's why I wouldn't say necessarily Amish, because they already have everything they need to exist off grid, and that would be a really good way to like survive long term. Okay, so let's water these new crops I've just planted. Strategy number 1: find a sledgehammer. Or that, or just go straight for the sledgehammer. If you've learned anything from Ash here, sledgehammers are bae. Some of the best places were old medieval forts. Yeah, so like when I lived in Maine, because like right now I'm in North Carolina and most of the forts are going to be on the coast, and the coast is, it's a fine place to be, but like in Maine, for instance, Maine is full of old brick embattlements, even old lead towers, shot towers would be a really good place to live because they're spacious and well, you know, defended and whatnot. So you know, if you were in Maine, you could try to look at a map and figure out where you have like sort of farms, because Maine also has a lot of microfarms. There was a huge, you know, and this is true across a lot of New England. There's a lot of small farms in New England that do large crop variety, whereas like in the Midwest you'll have one farm do monocropping, like a massive amount of monocropping. And in Maine there's a trend where it's like you know, oh, this farm does it's farm to table, where they will supply all the needs for local restaurants, so you'll have a farm be able to yield a huge variety of crops. in hot houses and things like that. So you could look at a map and try to figure out where is there a density of sort of hothouse farming and also secure buildings. Because when you're talking about, it's easy to fantasize like, oh, I would kill so many zombies. But when you're talking about like apocalyptic scenarios, it's really your hierarchy of needs that needs to be met. Water, food, shelter, in those orders. And it doesn't really matter what the scenario is. It's always going to be like water, food, shelter. That's what people need, and that's what you need to look out for. So now that I've tended the farm, it is time for me to do trapping and foraging. Medicine is good as well, but at some point, what is more useful than medicine is like vitamins and things like that. And the argument being, unless you have medical skill, unless you are a doctor, it doesn't really help you very much to have a bunch of medicine if you don't know how to use it, right? So if you don't have if you don't have a medical degree, it doesn't help you really. Like in the movies, it might be like, oh, I'll like perform surgery on myself like 127 hours, which 1 out of maybe 1,000 people might be able to do, but the other 999 people just die. They sanguinate and die, right? You only hear about the success stories, and Hollywood fantasizes about like, oh, everybody could be their own upstart man. It's like, no. I'm sorry, if I fracture my leg in real life and I don't know how to set it, I'm dead. With me personally, I've actually gone through EMT training. I've gone through wilderness first aid training. I've gone through a lot of that kind of training, so I actually know how to like set bones and things like that. I don't have an advanced medical degree, but I have enough to survive in the wild. This is when I was a trip leader for summer camps and whitewater. I was a whitewater guide and things like that. So I have a lot of like wilderness experience, and which is why I say if I was all that wilderness experience I got is when I was living in New England. So I know how to identify safe to eat plants in New England and how to forage and trap in New England. I don't really know North Carolina that well. I know that immediately in my vicinity there's a ridiculous amount of deer, so I think it would be really, really easy for me to deer hunt for meat. But I know New England a lot better. I think a huge advantage to survival is knowing your surroundings, because you're only as strong as your knowledge of the surrounding area. But yeah, realistically, if you're in a dangerous situation and you need to survive, you've got to use the knowledge that you've acquired. We declare you president. Yeah. I've had, I've lived several lives, I'll put it that way. I've had a lot of interesting experiences. So I've been like a summer camp boating instructor, a whitewater guide for rafting and whitewater kayaking and canoeing. I've been, I had an ex who thought she wanted to become an EMT, but she needed a nudge in that direction. So I went through EMTB schooling, like, and then also doing all the wilderness first aid stuff or wilderness guiding stuff. You need, your American Red Cross CPR and wilderness first aid and stuff like that kind of training too. So I have a lot of like, it's sort of like a jack of all trades. And I have a degree in engineering and IT. So I have a lot of like sprinkling of skills that might be useful in sort of a bad situation where I can MacGyver my way through. So speaking of MacGyver, I've neglected. So we are going to be trapping. And I am going to make some traps. Now, the traps that I have available to me are pretty limited because of my lack of trapping skill. So I need to get... I could do wooden cage traps. Or I could use twine. I'm probably just going to make wooden cage traps. And the reason being is twine is kind of a precious resource that I don't want to waste. And wooden cage traps are going to be enough for me to trap some basic stuff. After the rant, the brag. I don't think it's bragging. It's just the experience I have. I'm also the first to say, like, I'm a terrible developer, for instance. So it's not that it's not so much a brag as like, I know what I know and I know what I don't know. I have enough experience to get me into trouble. Is what I think I'd like to say. Alright, so for me to make more traps, I'm also going to want a saw and a wood axe. So let's grab a in new condition wood axe. I always carry a saw on me anyway. And then we're going to want some cabbage or something to bait the traps, because you don't trap animals with no bait. So I will take, let's say 4 of my cabbages. Not my cabbages. All right, now 3 of them are cabbages. And then move some of my frozen cabbages from the freezer to the fridge so I can use them later. If I survived the zombie apocalypse, what would I miss? Well, I don't know. I have no idea. People, probably. The things you get from society, like a nice ice cream sundae or a barbecue with friends. You know, it's the sort of everyday stuff, I think, is what you'd miss most. The sort of friends and family. Cheese. Oh god, I'm gonna hit a car. I've made cheese before, though. Not that I think I would bother, given the enormous amount of effort it takes to make cheese in real life. But I had a cousin that was working at a dairy farm, and I am familiar with the process. So if you take a look at the map here of where I live, it's really only across the street that is immediately wilderness, which is kind of funny, right? So for me to make a box trap, oh, you know what? I don't have the trapping skills for that. Oh yeah, no, I do. So let's craft one of these cage traps. These aren't the good traps, but they'll do. And then I can cut down some trees for extra planks to make more traps. So I think I'm going to make, I don't know, like let's say 5 traps or something. I have a few cabbages. Yeah, 5 traps sounds pretty reasonable. And if you right click, and you go to like forage, you'll see what the sort of health of the forest is. So right now it's 100% forage. I tend to try to forage. No, that's not how to do that. I tend to try to forage not where I trap. But let's smoke a cigarette here. I like ice cream with cheese? No. Oh god, that sounds awful. All right, so there is a trap with bait. The horse in Walking Dead. Yeah, in different horror genres, sometimes zombies go after horses and sometimes they don't, and other animals. And a lot of the times it's mostly that people would rather see other humans get like eaten by zombies than animals, because somehow, I don't know, just the way it is, right? So so you end up with situations where the lore of movies, zombies ignore animals or whatever. Okay, fast forwarding through that is a little dangerous, but we're done. I have 5 traps now. Well, 4 now, and I put one down. Are there works where animals can be zombies? Yeah, like Resident Evil. You know, with the zombie dogs and zombie other creatures and... Yeah, so there's a precedent for, like, zombie critters as well, for sure. Seven Days to Die has zombie dogs as well, yeah. I don't know if these traps are, like, in the forest enough, but I don't like to go deep in the forest, because deep in the forest, you can get grabbed and bit. So, if trapping on the very edge of the forest is not effective, fine, I will be an ineffective trapper. The RimWorld series had a lot of zombie animals. That just had any animal could be a zombie animal. Which is really funny when you have, like, the zombies swarm boombalopes and then the boombalopes explode. Zombie bees? That sounds horrifying. Okay, so all of the traps are now baited. I will eat the rest of the bait myself. Fresh cabbage. What's my weight at? 84 and dropping? I'm gonna need to start carb loading, right? So now that those traps are set, I'm gonna drive to a geographically different area to do the foraging, to try to keep them separate. I don't have to drive very far because there's a lot of woods everywhere. But I will start foraging from over here. Ideal weight for your character is somewhere between, like, what is it, 80 and 85, I think? Don't quote me on that. I'd have to look it up. But under 85 kilograms, you are the correct weight. So let's forage for everything. 75 to 85? Yeah. So somewhere, staying near 80 is ideal. And now that I'm not Fat Ash, maybe I try to stay near 80. And that concludes the 47 hours of Fat Ashley, now known as regular-sized Ashley, which originally aired live on Twitch. If you have any feedback for me, let me know in the comments below. If you would like to catch a live stream, Rhadamant.com has all the information you need. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, everybody.